2023 was a pretty solid year for horror movies. Probably not quite as good as 2022, but with films like Talk to Me and When Evil Lurks, last year had a few more standout horror moments. So how will 2024 compare? I've come up with an apt 13 horror movies which I'm looking forward to, or at least intrigued by, all hopefully releasing this year. So in no particular order, let's start with Out of Darkness, which releases on the 9th of February. This has a great and simple premise of a Stone Age community defending itself against a mysterious enemy. Previously titled The Origin, Out of Darkness has already had its debut at the London Film Festival in 2022 to good reviews. It looks to me a little like Prey mixed with the very mid-2008 Jim Caviezel action film Outlander. So what is coming out of the darkness? Is it an alien or a wee beastie of sorts? We'll see on the 9th of Feb if it's not too dark. Late Night with the Devil is a found footage style horror set inside a talk show TV set starring David Dastmalchian in the lead role. It focuses on the discovery of a master tape from the talk show's past, where Dastmalchian's character interviews the sole survivor of a satanic church's mass suicide. Again, this one has already had its debut on the festival circuit at South by Southwest to pretty strong reviews. Horror director Mike Flanagan had this to say about the film in his Letterboxd review: "The only other movie I can think of that this is remotely comparable to is Ghostwatch, and this has me very excited." I can't find a release date for this one, but it's definitely coming this year. Abigail features a glittering cast including Melissa Barrera, Dan Stevens, Catherine Newton and Giancarlo Esposito. This follows a gang kidnapping the daughter of a powerful underworld figure, demanding a $50 million ransom, until they discover that this kid is not as cute and innocent as first seemed. Directed by Scream and Scream 6's Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillett, expect silly but gory action horror. This film also brings to mind another of Bettinelli-Olpin and Gillett's earlier films, Ready or Not. And it looks like good fun to me. Abigail is released on the 19th of April. The Watchers is the directorial debut of Ishana Night Shyamalan. See if you can work out who her dad is. Night Shyamalan also writes this supernatural horror based on a novel of the same name by A.M. Shine, and it will star Dakota Fanning and Georgina Campbell. The story follows an artist stranded in a forest in Ireland who becomes trapped in a shelter with three strangers who are stalked by mysterious creatures each night. Slightly familiar premise maybe, but it'll be very interesting to see if Ishana takes after the best parts of her dad's skills, or
plan on murdering me in my sleep.
What? No!
2024 is set to be the year of the Shyamalan family, as M. Night is also back this year with his 16th feature film, Trap. Very little is known about this one, but it does star Josh Hartnett straight off his career reinvigorating turn in Oppenheimer as a man trapped at a concert. The artist from said concert is to be played by real-life R&B singer Salika Shyamalan. See if you can guess who her dad is. The Trap is said to be a thriller, but I think all of Shyamalan's work has tinges of horror, and some, of course, is full-blown horror.
How is he doing that?
I don't want to hurt anyone.
Trap is set for release on August the 2nd. Alien Romulus will be a standalone installment in the Alien franchise set between Alien and Aliens, and is not directed by or starring anyone from the Shyamalan family. Fede Alvarez, who has already had a hand in a resurrected horror franchise in Evil Dead, will write and direct what I expect to be a back-to-basics bug hunt, or more likely human hunt. Again, story details are scant, but we do know that the film will be set aboard a space station and will feature a cast of 20-somethings. Viewers of the channel may well know that Aliens is my favourite film of all time, so there's always a lot of fear around a return to this universe. And it's not like recent editions have been in the same ballpark as those first two classic horrors, but there's always hope. With Alvarez on board, I'm expecting a huge gore fest, and I'll be okay with that. Also, Ridley Scott himself has seen it, and he describes the film as fucking great. And he'd know. And Ridley also reminds you to click on that subscribe button. Alien Romulus releases on the 16th of August. A Quiet Place Day One is a prequel spin-off from the mainline story of John Krasinski's post-apocalyptic series. This one once again has a story from Krasinski, but will be written and directed by Michael Sornowski, who wrote and directed my favourite movie from 2021, Pig. This one stars Lupita Nyong'o, Joseph Quinn, Alex Wolff and Jaimin Hanzo. No story details have been released as yet, but given the title, I imagine it'll be another set of survivors dealing with the initial attack. Alex Wolff has recently described the film as a large-scale drama, so it sounds like it'll have a stronger focus on character rather than another claustrophobic horror. I love this series, so really excited for this one, but I am hoping for something a little different to those first two films. A Quiet Place Day One will be released on the 28th of June. Wolfman will see Lee Winnell take on another Universal Monster update after his impressive attempt at The Invisible Man in 2020. Ryan Gosling was originally set to star but dropped out to be replaced by the much hairier Christopher Abbott. Julia Garner also stars as a mother whose family is being terrorised by a lethal predator. I'm going to put 2 and 2 together and suggest that this predator is the Wolfman. Though going against the Versus norms, I would welcome seeing a teaming up of the Predator and the Wolfman. Just putting that out into the universe. Wolfman releases on the 25th of October. Robert Eggers is back, this time with a remake of one of the most iconic horror movies of all time, Nosferatu. Bill Skarsgård tries his hand at another of horror's most notable villains after nailing it as Pennywise the Clown, and he's backed up by a stacked cast including Nicholas Hoult, Lily Rose Depp, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, and Eggers stalwarts Willem Dafoe, and Mr. Gravel Voice himself, Ralph Ineson. Nosferatu currently has a "really, is that when you plan to release your film?" date of Christmas Day? Longlegs is a horror thriller written and directed by Oz Perkins, who is the son of horror icon Anthony Perkins. Yeah, that's Psycho. This one is centred around the unsolved case of a serial killer which seems to have some connection to the occult. So far, so true detective. It stars one of my favourite actresses in the horror world, Micah Monroe, and a little known actor by the name of Nicolas fucking Cage. Can't find a release date for this one, but we have teaser trailers already, which suggests soon-ish. Maxxxine, the third film in Ty West trilogy, which seemingly came out of nowhere, starting with the excellent X, following up with Pearl, which I admit I wasn't quite as sold on. Here we're following Mia Goth's Maxxxine, the only survivor of the massacre in X, as she sets out for fame and success in 1980s LA. This film does sadly have a little bit of an icky cloud over it at the moment, with the news of Mia Goth allegedly assaulting an extra, but I'm hoping that all gets cleared up in the right way. Goth is joined by the biggest cast of the trilogy, with Elizabeth Debicki, Moses Sumney, Michelle Monaghan, Bobby Cannavale, Lily Collins, Giancarlo Esposito, and Kevin Bacon. The film is said to be a very gory, giallo-inspired slasher, and I'm personally hoping it goes more the way of X than Pearl, which I do expect. No release date yet for Maxxxine, but it's definitely coming this year. Chris Stuckman is the reason I have this channel, and I'm sure he's the reason for many other movie review channels out there. And I think we're all incredibly pleased that he's finally getting to make his first feature film, Shelby Oaks. This supernatural horror, which is also written by Stuckman, is based around a group of paranormal investigators searching for the missing sister of one of their group. As an indie film which is only just about to go to festivals, it's not a done deal that the general public will get to see this one in 2024. But when it does arrive, no matter how it lands, I do hope that critics are as measured in their words about the film as Stuckman has been on his channel for over the last 10 years. Good luck, Chris. And one final last-minute addition, Presence, which is written by David Coop and directed by Steven Soderbergh, who's never directed a straight horror before, though this certainly looks to have his strong grasp of drama and experimentation in the mix too. This one was announced out of absolutely nowhere in December, ahead of its premiere at Sundance, to some very strong buzz. Presence's odd story delivers a haunted house movie, but in a switch from the norm, all shown in first-person perspective, from the ghost's point of view. Hopefully it'll work better than it did in Doom. Obviously no release date yet, but it's likely to make more festival appearances across 2024. So there's 13 horrors for you to look forward to in 2024. But what did I miss? What did I forget? And what are you most looking forward to in the world of horror this year? Let me know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.
Game over, man. It's game over.